You walk into the room and your cat sees you, and the first thing they do is stretch. Front legs out, back arched, the whole body pulled long, and then they look up at you. It's such an ordinary thing that most people never think about it twice. It's cute, you smile, you carry on. But that stretch isn't one thing. There are 5 separate reasons a cat does it, and one of them has nothing to do with you at all. Hi everyone, I'm Leo Bennett, your neighborhood cat guy. Today we're decoding the greeting stretch, plus the chattering noise they make at birds, the bite that comes with a lick attached, and a chewing habit that isn't a quirk at all. Small thing before we carry on. This is one chapter of a much bigger conversation about what your cat is trying to tell you, and I've gathered all of it into a book called The Happy Cat Manual over at leobennettsecrets.com. Go take a look if you want more happy years with your cat. That's all. So let's start with the stretch itself, and the first reason is the simplest and the nicest. It's a greeting. More often than not, a cat stretching when they see you is saying hello. And here's why that matters more than it sounds. Think about what a stretch involves. The body goes long, the belly comes forward, the legs extend away. For a few seconds, your cat is in the least defensible position they could choose. An animal does not do that in front of something it's worried about. So the stretch is a sign of trust. Your cat is telling you they're comfortable enough to make themselves vulnerable for a moment without thinking twice. Purring alongside it makes the same point twice. Take it as a compliment because that's what it is. The second reason is more transactional, and honestly, it's just as flattering. They want your attention. Cats are excellent at noticing what works. If something reliably produces pets or treats or even just you saying their name, they keep doing it. And a stretch is a large, slow, unmissable movement in the middle of a room. It's designed to be seen. So a lot of the time that stretch means, hey, look at me, I'm here, look how good I am at this. And let me knock down the reputation while we're here because cats get labeled as aloof and independent and it's out of date. Cats absolutely crave attention from the people they've chosen. They're just less obvious about asking, so the request gets missed. Think about how easy your cat is to walk past. You cross the same room 10 times in an evening, not looking down. But when they stretch out in front of you and make a noise, you stop. You reach down. You say something. It works. That's why they do it. So pay it off sometimes. Not every time, but often enough. A cat asking for attention in the most polite way they know, ignored every single time, eventually escalates to something you'll like less. 20 seconds is a cheap price. The third reason is purely physical, and this one has nothing to do with you at all. They're warming the body up. Cats sleep an enormous amount of the day, and when your cat sees you walk in, there's a good chance they were asleep about 40 seconds ago. Muscles that have been still go stiff, exactly like ours do, and stretching gets blood moving and joints loose. So sometimes you haven't been greeted at all. You've walked in at the moment they were getting up anyway. But here's where it loops back to you. Your cat often stretches because they're anticipating something. You appearing means play might happen, or food, or being picked up. So they're getting the body ready for whatever comes next. That's a cat who has learned that your arrival is usually followed by something good, which is its own kind of compliment. And this one is worth watching over time. A cat who stretches easily and fluidly is comfortable. A cat who used to and has gradually stopped, or who stretches stiffly or no longer reaches as far, may be telling you their joints hurt. Arthritis in cats is far more common than people realize and almost never shows up as an obvious limp. It shows up as doing slightly less than they used to, so enjoy the stretch and notice if it changes. The fourth reason is the one nobody guesses. They're marking territory. Cats have scent glands in several places, including their paws, and they leave behind pheromones, which are chemical signals other cats can read. You can't smell them at all. To another cat, they're information, and a stretch presses those paws and that body against the floor or the furniture, laying that scent down. Same instinct as rubbing against your legs when you come home, performed on the ground instead of on you. There's a detail here I like. The bigger the stretch, the larger the area covered, and the bigger the claim. A full-body stretch across a room is a cat writing their name across as much of it as they can manage. And you'll see this ramp up in specific situations. Bring a new pet home and your existing cat's marking goes up noticeably. Take them to a friend's house and they'll do it in a new room. Sometimes they'll bring the claws out too, because that leaves a scent mark and a visible mark at once. None of that is your cat being difficult. That's a cat suddenly less certain about who owns what, settling the question the only way they know. And the fifth reason is the simplest of all. They're cooling down. Cats don't sweat the way we do, so on a hot day, they'll find the coolest surface available, tile, pavement, grass, and stretch out flat with all four limbs extended. That maximizes the body in contact with a cool surface and lets heat escape. So if it's July and your cat is spread across the kitchen tiles looking like they've melted, that isn't a greeting. That's thermal management. Right. Now let's move to a different noise entirely, because this one confuses people the first time they hear it. The bird chattering. Your cat is at the window. There's a bird outside, or a squirrel, and their jaw starts going in a rapid, stuttering chatter. Fast, intense, and slightly strange to listen to. The current thinking is that this is a very specific emotional collision. Enormous excitement at spotting prey, running straight into complete inability to do anything about it. The hunting system fires up, the body prepares, and then there's a pane of glass in the way, and all that energy has nowhere to go. So the chatter is excitement and frustration leaking out through the jaw. Completely normal, not distress, not something to fix, but treat it as information. A cat chattering at a window has their hunting drive switched fully on with nowhere to send it. If yours does it a lot, answer it with a proper play session. A wand toy moved like something alive and let them catch it. You're giving that energy a target it can reach. Now let's talk about a behavior that looks affectionate and confusing at the same time. The lick that comes with a bite. You're stroking your cat, they lick your hand, and then they nip you. Or they nip and then start licking. It feels contradictory because half of it is affection and half of it isn't. Two completely different things are going on, and telling them apart matters. The first is a love bite, and it's grooming. When cats groom each other, they don't just lick. They lick and gently nibble, because that's how you work through fur properly. So a cat who licks your hand and gives it a small, controlled nip is grooming you. They've filed you under family. It's gentle, it doesn't break skin, and it's genuinely affectionate. The second is overstimulation, and this is the one that catches people out. If you've been petting your cat for a while and they lick your hand and then bite, that's usually not affection. That's a cat telling you they've had enough. Petting that was enjoyable a few minutes ago has tipped over into being too much, and the bite is the message. And the crucial thing is that you get warnings first. The tail twitches or flicks. The ears rotate out and flatten sideways. You might see the skin along the back rippling. All of it means the same thing. Stop now. So watch the tail while you pet, not the face. At the first twitch, take your hand away. Do that consistently and the biting largely disappears because you're stopping before the pressure builds, rather than waiting to be told the hard way. And you'll have no trouble telling any of this from real aggression, which looks completely different. Hissing, a stiff, rigid body, fur standing on end. A love bite arrives in the middle of a calm moment. Aggression announces itself well in advance. Which brings me to licking on its own, without the bite. Mostly, it's affection and bonding. Cats groom the individuals they consider family. Kittens are groomed by their mother, and many cats carry that into adulthood and direct it at their people. When your cat licks you, they're doing to you what their mother did to them. There's a second layer, and it's scent again. Licking transfers their smell onto you, so you now carry the household scent. In cat terms, that's both "I love you" and "this one is mine," and those are closer to the same sentence than you'd expect. And a third possibility that's less romantic. If you've just eaten, or you've got hand cream on, your cat may simply like the taste of you. Not every lick is a declaration. Now, the belly. Your cat rolls over in front of you and shows you their stomach. The near universal reaction is to reach for it, which is the near universal mistake. That belly is the softest, least protected part of a cat's body, and everything vital sits underneath it. A cat facing something dangerous does not roll over and offer it up. So when they do it in front of you, they're relaxed, comfortable, and not remotely threatened. It's confidence and trust, and it's frequently a greeting too. "Hello, I'm pleased to see you, and I'd take some attention if it's going." What it is not is a request to rub that area. Some cats do love it, and if yours is one, carry on. but most find it overstimulating, and plenty will grab your arm and rake at it with their back legs. Take the compliment and scratch the cheeks, chin, or base of the ears instead. And the last one, why your cat ignores you. You call their name from across the room and get absolutely nothing. Not an ear, not a glance. And it's hard not to take that personally. So here's what the research says. A study at the University of Tokyo found cats can recognize their owner's voice and their own name even when a stranger says it. Some give it away with a small ear twitch or a head tilt, but only around 1 in 10 actually came when called. So your cat hears you. Your cat knows their name. Your cat knows it's you. They've simply decided getting up isn't necessary right now. And that isn't a failure of the relationship, it's the difference between the two species we live with. Dogs are built to be involved in everything, to follow, to join in. Cats are independent, and they respond when they've got a reason to. So if you want your cat to come, give them a reason. A treat, a toy, a warm lap. That isn't bribery, it's negotiation, and it works far better than repeating their name 11 times. And that independence is exactly why so many of us have cats. A cat who comes to you has chosen to, every single time. So let me pull it together. The stretch is 5 things: a greeting, a request for attention, a body warming up, territory being marked, or a cat cooling off on a tiled floor. The chattering is a hunting system with nowhere to go. The nibble is either grooming or a warning, and the tail tells you which. Licking is family, scent, and occasionally just the taste of your dinner. The belly is trust, not an invitation. And being ignored means your cat heard you perfectly and simply didn't need to move. Almost none of it is random. Your cat has been narrating their entire day to you, in movements small enough to walk straight past. And now, the one I want to leave you with, because unlike everything else in this video, it isn't a quirk. If your cat chews on things that aren't food, plastic bags, fabric, wool, cardboard, and worst of all, electrical cords, that's a condition called Pica, and it needs a vet. The cause often isn't obvious. It's been linked to mineral deficiencies, thyroid problems, genetics in certain breeds, and to boredom and stress. Several of those are entirely treatable once somebody identifies them. And there's an immediate danger on top, because swallowed fabric or plastic can cause an intestinal blockage, which is an emergency, and chewed cords are exactly what they sound like. So this one doesn't go on the list of endearing habits. If your cat is eating things that aren't food, book the appointment and get them looked at properly. So tell me in the comments, does your cat stretch when they see you? And now that you've got all 5 reasons, which one do you think yours is doing? I suspect a lot of you have been getting a territory marking and reading it as a hello. Hit like, subscribe, and send this to somebody whose cat greets them at the door. I'm Leo Bennett, and go and watch that next stretch properly.